Hello, everybody. It's me, Shannon LaBruyere. I am live and loving it tonight. Welcome to Sunday Night Live, where we explore the principles that allow us to thrive in change. And whew, change can be a whirlwind. But if you've got some key principles that you can hold on to in the midst, I know that you will be able to sink your roots deep. You'll be able to be nourished. You'll be able to flourish when the season to produce your fruit comes around. Not every season is a season where we've got our flowers blooming and everything's all bright and sunny and rosy. I get that. But even in those darker seasons, even in the winters of our lives, we can nourish our roots so that when spring comes, we're ready. Are you ready? You ready to explore? Welcome to 2023. Woot, woot. I'm so glad to see you. Let's see, we got who's jumping in. So make sure you say hi. If you've never been with us live on Sunday Night Live before, make sure you give StreamYard permission to use your profile and your picture. Missy Smith at Bobo is ready. Missy Smith, I haven't said that in forever. So, our Thrive principle today is hashtag find the beauty. Find the beauty. And I always have to remind myself included, I have to remind everybody that find the beauty doesn't mean ignoring the negative or ignoring the bad or the things that we don't like or the hard stuff. Find the beauty means understanding there's bad stuff, hard stuff, difficult stuff, but there is always also beauty to be found. And we're going to explore a way to find the beauty. The next thing I want to do is shout out to Thumb Roast Coffee. You guys, Thumb Roast Coffee made my holiday parties so amazing. People loved the Christmas blend, which I know Christmas is past, but Santa Lac Sunrise is always a favorite. So if you want delicious coffee, if you're ready to treat yourself, show yourself a little love. I mean, when I was setting up my coffee bar, I had everything just so. I had cream in the little refrigerator. I had just a beautiful arrangement of different stir sticks and cups and all kind. It was awesome because I love the people that are in my home. I loved my guests, and I love to show myself a little love too. And starting tomorrow, things will be a little calmer around here. The holidays are past. I'm going to show myself a little love with a cup of Santa Lac Sunrise. You can do it too. Anyway, the good news is you can do it with a discount. If you go to thumbroastcoffee.com, put in the coupon. I need to slow down. Put in the coupon code THRIVE, THRIVE, and you can get 15% off of the world's best coffee. And if you pour yourself a cup tomorrow, you can, in spirit, sit with me as you drink it and think about the year to come and all your good plans. All right. So, with that, let's get started. Hi, Philip. Glad you're here. Missy says, how do you pour your love? Hashtag, how do you pour love? Exactly. I pour love with Thumb Roast Coffee. Okay, so we are talking tonight about contentment. I wonder if you've ever even given that any thought. Contentment. What is contentment? Are you content? How do you even know if you're content? Does it matter if you're content? I want you to know that it does. Because when we are content, we have the opportunity, the possibility to experience joy and to be truly happy. Doesn't mean everything's going great constantly with no hiccups, but when we are content, we can weather those hiccups and those bumps in our road, and we can still do it with joy. Contentment is a state of being where we can understand that even though our circumstances may not be ideal and may not be what we want, that the things that we value are still near and dear and close to us. And we can be content while we work to change our circumstances. Contentment is a big deal. Do you know somebody who's not content? Do and if you do, just give me a thumbs up or hit a heart in the thumbs up in the comments or in the little emojis. You can drop it in the comments. Do you know somebody who is just never happy? It doesn't matter what they get. They're not happy. Hi, Carol. I'm glad you're jumping in. Do you know somebody who is never satisfied? Never satisfied. No matter how much effort you put into that gift that you chose for them, it's just never enough. Just wasn't quite right. Whatever new job they get, it just isn't quite what they were looking for. Whatever compliment they get doesn't hit them just right. It doesn't matter. No matter how good it seems to you, they're never happy. They achieve their goal, but it never seems to stick. They're like running off to the next goal. Maybe that's you. If it is, take a deep breath, let it out, and let's talk about contentment, because contentment is what leads to happiness, and it's what leads to joy. It's what allows us to truly enjoy our life, be present. I could have just as easily used, as I so often have, many Thrive principles that go along with each topic. I could have used hashtag respect the now. Being content says I'm going to find the beauty where I'm at right now, but it doesn't mean that I'm complacent and I'm going to just tolerate it. So I have 3 things that we're going to talk about. 3 things that will eat away at our contentment if we are not careful. These are in no particular order, and I struggle with these. Most of my clients at one time or another struggle with these. So these are very relevant little sneaky things that can come in when we're not paying attention and rob us of our contentment. All right, so the first one is this, and it will not surprise you: lack of intentionality. When we are not intentional about our lives, right? We just talked about those 7 habits of highly effective people. When we do not put things first, when we do not put first things first, when we are not intentional about building a life around our values, when we just go with the flow, we will often find ourselves highly discontent. Why? Because if we're just going with the flow, we're responding to other people's agendas. We're filling in their blanks. We're serving their goals, their vision, their purposes. And God created each of us with a vision and purpose and a plan for our lives. And we've got a gift that we can use and share. If we are intentional about exploring that, about maximizing our gifts and talents so that we can do good, we are going to boost. Oh, and now the cat is scratching herself. That's why this video is shaking so much. All right, so a lack of intentionality will absolutely doom contentment because you feel restless. There's no purpose. So if you're not content, one of the first things I want you to look at is, are you being intentional about your life? All right, got it? All right, number 2 is this: settling. Sippy really wants to be part of this today. She's excited about the new year. Really excited about the new year. Phillips jotted in the comments that reminder: put first things first. Yes, put first things first. The core basic premise that we build our lives on, if we want contentment, is putting first things first. Carol says, I had I found I had to be intentional about finding a way to get to my goal too, instead of just saying it can't happen. Carol, thank you, because that is segueing right into the next little sneaky thing, settling. When we settle for less than we want, when we settle for less than we know we could have, when we find ourselves saying, it's just not worth trying, I could never do that, our contentment seeps away. I'm here to tell you that you do not have to settle ever. I can see some of you like saying, yeah, right, Shannon. No, I'm not lying. I am serious. You never have to settle. Can you have everything all at once? No, you cannot. No, you cannot. Life doesn't work that way. But we can by putting first things first and truly understanding what it is we want. When we understand what that is, we can tell ourselves, I am going to find a way to start getting pieces of that into my life. It might be a process. You might not get it all overnight. But as you start step by step moving toward that dream and that goal, you're going to find your contentment begins to rise and your motivation. And here's the thing, being content is not the same as being complacent. All right? Being complacent says, I don't care. I'll just stay here because it's easy. I'll just hang out. I won't change anything. I'll deal with it. I don't care. That's complacency. We can be content without being complacent. We can appreciate the beauty that we find where we're at right now. And at the same time, amazing thought, we can also desire something more. We can appreciate what we have while also desiring to be more, to do more, and to have more. We do not have to settle for what other people tell us we deserve. We do not have to settle for what maybe we were taught from the time we were kids was our lot in life. I work with people who were told they would never amount to anything, that they were foolish for trying to get an education or their desire to be a doctor or a dancer or fill in the blank. People around them who cared about them and loved them and wanted to protect them and keep them safe told them, don't take risks, don't try anything because you might fail. Well, we know here from Sunday Night Live that failure is a good thing because we can learn a lot from it. You don't have to fear failure, right? We settle because we're afraid to try. We settle because we believe the lies that other people have told us about us, what we deserve, what we can have. Like Carol said, she found she had to be intentional about finding a way to get to her goal instead of just saying it can't happen. Once you make the decision, Carol, that it can happen, all kinds of stuff opens up. Miracles can happen when we decide that they're possible. Settling is one of those sneaky things that if you let it get in, it will sap your contentment. It will sap your joy. And the third thing that will steal your contentment is comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. And when you find yourself comparing your journey to someone else's, suffering happens. Because this is what happens. And I can't remember who said this. Oh, Bill, somebody. It'll come to me. Maybe I'll post it in the Thrive and Change page on Facebook coming up when I look up the quote. We so often compare the beginning of our journey to the end of someone else's, that person who's achieved so much. And we compare ourselves to them. I'm a seamstress. I love to sew. I've been sewing for 50 years. I've been sewing for almost 52 years. I've been sewing for a long time. I am good at it. And I ought to be. If I've been doing something for 50 years and I've not gotten good at it, there's a problem, right? So I'm good at it. And I'm a member of a Facebook group where we make children's clothing out of patterns that this group makes. So it's a special group just for people who use these patterns. And I made a real cute little sweatshirt for my granddaughter, posted in this group so people could see it and be inspired. Maybe they'd like to try something. And I had so many people jump in and say, "Oh, I love that." But I could never do that. I make too many mistakes. Well, yeah. And I make a lot of mistakes too. And I'm going to tell you guys a secret, and I filled them in as well. When I took the picture of that little sweatshirt that I made my granddaughter, I hid one of the sleeves in a pocket because there was a mistake right here and it showed a lot in the picture. So I thought, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna hide that away. I didn't show them the mistake. And then I had to go back and confess, you know what? I tried to make that look all perfect. Don't be hard on yourselves. I'm sold for 52 years and I made a mistake. It's okay if you make a mistake. And the person who's going to wear it, in my case, a little kid, she'll never know the difference. I'm here to tell you that your failures will contribute to your ability to achieve everything you want. But if you compare your failures to other people's successes, you will never get off the ground. Comparison is the thief of joy. When we compare ourselves to other people, we allow our motivation, our purpose to be overridden by somebody else's. So we got some cool comments going on here. Carol says this, sometimes it just takes planning and waiting and listening, being patient, right? Our Saturday morning classes, live stream leadership, and this time tonight has so many nuggets of hope. Carol, thank you. And that is exactly what I want this time to be, is hope. There is hope for you. Your dreams, your goals, your vision, you can achieve them. You can achieve them. Believe that you can. And let's get started, right? Don't settle anymore. And don't compare where you're at on your journey to somebody else's journey who's been at it 20, 30, 50 years. Use your own progress as your measure. Am I better than I was before? Am I better than I was yesterday? That breeds contentment. It brings joy. Yes, I'm improving. My effort is paying off. And if I fail, like Philip says, we can learn from our mistakes. Exactly right. We can learn from our mistakes. If I fail, I've got a new piece of information that will help me to get closer to my goal. Missy says this is so good. It really is. You guys, this is the key. This is the key to contentment, what we're talking about here. And I mentioned that social media group, and I just want to throw this out there because I don't know about you, but I experienced some comparison over the last few weeks. I've experienced some of my joy being stolen because of comparing myself, my reality, to the, and I'm going to use this term loosely, I'm making air quotes here, other people's reality on social media. Do you ever find yourself scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and with every post you see, you feel a little less capable, a little less cool? Is that even a phrase? A little less content? Yeah. When we compare ourselves, and it's so easy to do, when we compare ourselves to the things that we see on social media, when we are scrolling and scrolling and we find ourselves feeling more and more anxious, more and more depressed, more discontent with our lives, when that's happening, I'm here to tell you, stop. Put a stop to it. It is draining you of your joy, your purpose, your contentment. I'll be the first to admit it is not always easy to disconnect from social media. Our friends are there. A lot of times our family is there. Sometimes the people that we went to high school with are there, and we kind of want to see what they're doing, right? So we can compare. I have a class. It's called the JOMO Challenge, The Joy of Missing Out. And the last time I ran this, it's a 10-day challenge. And what it does is it helps anybody who is having that sense of contentment or discontentment take over their lives as they scroll through Instagram or watching those TikTok videos or sitting on Facebook for hours and just getting sucked into other people's lives instead of living your own. If you are experiencing that, the Joy of Missing Out challenge is coming up and you are going to want to be a part of it. It is going to be happening, I think it is the 26th. Let me check to be sure. It is going from January. It starts January 16th and it ends January 25th. I've got it posted in my events. There is a fee for it. It is $19 and it lasts 10 days. And I guarantee if you follow that challenge at the end of those 10 days, you are going to reclaim your joy. You are going to find your contentment. You are going to be more motivated, more, I want to say digitally healthy. You're going to have more three, control the scroll. Control the scroll. Control the squirrel. We have the ability when we work together, when we apply these principles to have the contentment we want, to strive toward the change that we want to see, the positive change that we want to see. And we do not have to do that alone. I encourage you, if you have found yourself feeling depressed, anxious, just spending too much time on social media, check out the events on the Thrive in Change page, and I'll post a link in the comments of this and sign up for the JOMO challenge. It's wonderful. It's short videos that you can watch at your own pace, but then there's a fun live component too, so that we can stay connected and encourage each other. It's going to be fun. Oh, Missy, Missy says the phrase you've helped me with, done or started, is better than perfect, and it has changed my life, says Missy. Yeah, isn't it a good one? Done is better than perfect. And Missy is a great one to talk because Missy, and let's give her a little bit of a shout out, hooray, Missy wrote a book and she published it and it is available. So if you go and check out Missy Smith Bobo, if you hit her profile, you'll be able to see she has a book about finding, is it healing through connection? Powerful stuff. So I encourage you to check it out. And good job, Missy. Missy, getting things done and then allowing failure to inform the next thing you do. And now you've got a successful book. It's awesome. Okay, let me see. Missy also is excited for JOMO. Carol went through JOMO and she said it helped me so much to leave my phone at home or in my office. Yeah, if the thought of leaving your phone somewhere gives you a stomach ache, the JOMO challenge, Control the Scroll, is for you. It's freedom. Yes, it's connecting 5 ways to freedom through connection. That's Missy's book. All right, you guys. We are going to wrap this up. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for leaning into the idea that you can be content. You can have contentment, but you'll have to be intentional about it, right? Being intentional about what you want, not going with the flow, other people's agendas, but understanding what you value, like Philip reminded us, putting first things first. Then we've got to make sure that we are not caught in the trap of settling because it's too much work or it's too scary to try to do anything else. That's a warning sign, my friend. That's a warning sign. If you just don't care enough to even get out of the bad situation you're in, allow me to encourage you. You deserve better. You deserve better. You do not have to stay in that swirl of discontent and sadness and misery. It swirls down, trust me. And then the final thing is that comparison, who do we compare ourselves to? Do we compare ourselves to ourselves, the progress that we've made? Or are we comparing ourselves to other people and allowing their journey to make us feel less than about our own? If that's you, if you are having an issue with comparison, if social media, if you're spending a lot of time online and that's contributing to that sense of discontent, I do have a solution. I don't want to leave you out there hanging. So make sure you check out in the events section, and I'll post it here in the comments, our upcoming JOMO challenge. It is going to be really, really fun. Oh, Philip says, I am content. Congratulations, Philip. It's a good place to be, isn't it? And I wonder, you're content, but what are your dreams and goals, right? Because we can be content where we are, but we can also, sometimes our dreams and goals are, I just want to keep this good thing going. That's totally okay. We don't have to always be moving on to the next thing, but we have to be intentional about it. Philip, I am glad you're intentionally content. And Carol says it's so good, such great advice. And I love this. And we will end with this. She says they're reminders to be us, to be ourselves. Yeah, don't play the comparison game. Be yourself. Be your best self. And you're tuning in to Sunday Night Live. You're working on becoming a better you. You're working on growing. It's a beautiful thing. I love it. And I love you. Happy New Year. 2023 is going to be amazing. It's going to be fantastic. And don't let comparison, don't let fear of missing out, don't let digital unhealthy habits steal your joy. If you're having an issue with it, or if you just want a refresher, if you want to just up level your game, make sure you check out the JOMO challenge, Control the Scroll. All right, you guys, I love you. Bye.